opponent in the red corner with black trunks, 3 times Florida State Golden Gloves champion with a record of 1 win, 0 losses with 1 KO, making his home in Miami, Florida, Wicked Mike Johnson.
We went over the rules in the locker room. I just want to remind you, protect yourselves at all times. In the case of a knockdown, take a neutral corner. Top gloves, let's have a good fight.
Tail of the tape, they're pretty even, these guys are well matched up. I think the difference being that Butler is more of a junior lightweight than a lightweight. Johnson's a genuine, fully fledged 135 pounder. As we see, he's a pound over the limited weight, but that's the difference.
Scheduled for George Ortiz is your referee, Fabian Butler, and a very talented Mike Johnson. They are talking in reverent terms about this gentleman. He has a very storied amateur career, and you can see in the first 10 seconds he has just a little bit of talent. It looks like he wants to make a smashing pro debut, managed by Pat Burns, a gentleman who is quite a stake in tonight's card, and really has South Florida jumping on boxing.
Got a great stable of talented fighters. Fabian Butler has relatively, I talked to him this morning at the weigh-in, and he's got relatively little amateur experience. The difference being that he's slightly smaller, genuinely smaller than Michael Johnson, and he's got quarter the amateur experience that Johnson has, and they're both young pros. As you said about Johnson, he's handled by the Pat Burns stable at the Leprechaun Gymnasium in Miami.
I was wondering if you were going to make a guest appearance there this week, but
seeing as I'm Irish and I'm about the right size. No, Johnson is the Pat Burns are going to have a problem because both of these these lightweights are from the same camp.
Lamar Murphy, who we saw earlier tonight, scoring that 7th round knockout, same weight as this gentleman, Mike Johnson. Johnson, what many people say is as talented as Murphy, but has not reached those expectations. But you can see the quickness and the punchability is certainly evident in the first couple minutes of this pro debut for the young man.
Yeah, he's a very talented, accurate puncher, quick hands too, firing punches from every angle, body and head. So he knows what he's doing. He's going about the job very well, putting the pressure on Fabian Butler.
Well, Fabian comes in with 4-1, and it's nothing to really take too lightly. I think you usually, as I said, you get that traditional tomato can.
Those body shots are hurting him. He's down, Butler. Don't look like he's getting up.
I don't think he will.
He's been battered there with body shots and a couple of good clean head shots. And
I think we've seen the last of Fabian Butler.
We see the towel coming from the corner end anyway. I don't think that's recognized in this neck of the woods, but he's not getting up anyway.
Mike Johnson making a triumphant pro debut. Right there, picked up by Pat Burns out of the Leprechaun Gym. Shamrocks and all, winning tonight for Pat Burns, and Fabian is still down. He took I didn't see that shot as nicely as I wanted to, but he obviously landed a big one over there.
Yeah, he was hit with it. It was the accumulation of punches, but it was a solid combination that got through the guard and eventually just tore the legs from Fabian Butler. Great body shots, and he picked a couple of clean head shots. I think it was the accumulation that actually finished him off.
Really a nice. Let's check some of these shots out.
Yeah, let's have a look at the finish here. You can actually see that these body shots are really hurting Mike Johnson. Look at that, that's a cracking body shot. That alone would take the legs from under any 135 pounder. And that's that left hook, and really it was a delayed effect.
Yeah.
Doubled up with that, and really that was the end of it.
And he is still down, by the way.
Yeah, good. Another angle on that. That left hook was the last one that hit him. The second one was really didn't hit the mark, but the first one was powerful enough to do the damage. And he's still on the floor, as I said. So hopefully he'll be okay.
There's a look at the fallen Fabian Butler. Definitely has been out now, down for about a minute and a half, and the crowd certainly concerned as we are here at ringside, and it was really the body shots bringing the hands down, which opened up the head category, and boy, he ripped some nice shots in there.
Yeah, the right hand to the body was an incredible punch. He came right in underneath the left hand, banged in that right hand to the short rib, took the wind right out of his sails, then hit him with that left hook, hit him with another left hook, which wasn't quite as good, but it was enough to put him on the floor. I think he's okay. He's talking to the doctor here.
Dr. Bob Berman and Dr. Larry Rosenbaum are your ringside physicians, and it looks like there is some movement there.
We're giving him every bit amount of time that he needs on the floor. It's better to keep the kid on the floor, give him a chance to recover.
Mike, he'll be all right.
He'll be all right, Mike.
There's your victorious Mike Johnson. The crowd, as we said, a little bit more subdued, is waiting now for Fabian Butler to regain his equilibrium and his just get up off the mat, and he is still down right now. Does not move the left.
Slow, take it slow. All right?
There we have heard, as we said, Dr. Bob Berman, Dr. Larry Rosenbaum helping him up, and they'll be putting him on the stool, and he is making, he took some big shots.
He did good.
There's a look at the two combatants, and I guess there's always that fear, Barry, that when you hit somebody like that and they go down, I'm sure it happened in your career, that you go in there with a very killer instinct, but at the same time, you still have to care for your opponent.
Yeah, it's it's a job of work. You just you go in there and you don't want somebody to hurt to get hurt. So we're glad to see that he's recovered.
Just a bruise.
All right.
We can go now to the announcer for the official decision.
Bob Reynolds has that right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a knockout in 2:30 of the first round. The winner, Wicked Mike Johnson.
There's a victorious Mike Johnson as he begins his pro career with a very spectacular first-round knockout. Still to come, light heavyweights. It'll be Duran Williams and Tim St. Clair from Fort Lauderdale after this.
Mullinax Ford in Margate is the world's largest Ford minivan dealer, and during our huge 93 sell-down, you'll find 140 Aerostars with our absolute lowest sell-down price on the window. Look, with low 7.5 financing, just $226 a month buys you this great family wagon with V6 power, automatic, air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, and best of all, airbag safety. You get it all for just $226 a month, plus the pride of buying American. But at reduced 93 sell-down prices, they won't last long, so hurry to Mullinax Ford South in Margate.
Hurricanes can be devastating. This season, be prepared with the Hurricane Tracker. Selkirk, the Weather Channel, and Wagner Tire present this useful guide full of valuable information and safety tips to help you prepare for a hurricane and its aftermath. This guide also includes a handy hurricane tracking chart. This season, you are prepared with the Hurricane Tracker, courtesy of Selkirk, the Weather Channel, and Wagner Tire. Now available at Wagner Tire, 3500 North Federal Highway, also at 1740 East Sunrise Boulevard.
Welcome back to War Memorial Auditorium. We're in Fort Lauderdale for what has been a tremendous, exciting night of boxing, including that second-round upset of Alex Garcia. But earlier tonight, we had a chance to take a look at some light heavyweights in a very good fight. Duran Williams, a gentleman who came in undefeated, taking on Tim St. Clair. We're going to pick up action in round number 6. Let's take a look.
Gulps of breath.
I'll tell you, after some very solid punching by Williams, it almost looks like St. Clair caught that proverbial second win.
Yeah,
number 6, and St. Clair comes out quickly on the attack with his unorthodox style, but certainly has given Duran Williams something to think about.
Yeah, most definitely. When you're coming up to the ranks as a contender and obviously a very talented young guy like Duran Williams is, you've got to have fights like this, and sometimes they can be really frustrating when you hit a guy with quality punches and he still hangs in there. I can tell you it's really frustrating. You hit a guy right on the button and it's halfway through the fight and you're banging him and he's still there in the later rounds. It can really drain you. Just got to have the confidence, and this is part of being a contender. You've got to beat these guys. You just got to steamroll over the top of them. Chip away at them. If it doesn't work, take a round off, come back again.
Duran Williams landing some big power shots, but St. Clair coming right back, and now it's Duran Williams back on the attack. Certainly a very, what seemed to be a one-sided fight early on has turned into where they're a very competitive battle, Barry, although it certainly looks like St. Clair is a bit outclassed, but certainly offering terrific competition.
Yeah, he's been, I wouldn't say that it's been a competitive fight. He's offered him lots of resistance, but apart from that, I think Williams has just found it difficult to get rid of this guy. He's got to be patient, and he's got to learn to, as I say, take a round off and come back if the guy's tough, and he's been doing that now. He's stepping up a gear, and he's starting to pick this guy apart. Took the round off last round, and again, the round before that, he was really stepping on the gas again.
I have a question for you, Barry. Is there a point in any fight that you make the determination that you're going to go the distance? I mean, that you're not going to take this guy out without some home run shot? It almost looks like Williams has decided now, it looks like he's going to go 24 minutes or 8 rounds. I'm just going to get a good workout in.
That's a good question. I mean, I think that's the attitude you've got to have, because if you go in there hoping to knock the guy out, that will only lead to frustration and disillusionment. You've got to be relaxing. You've got to be patient. Patience is an essential part of a fighter's build-up or makeup.
St. Clair on the attack. One thing about Williams and a benefit to St. Clair is that usually when you hit a guy like St. Clair in the head, he can take good headshots, but he's had some hooks dug to the body big time, and he's still there, so he's in tremendous shape, and you can see those shots he's taking right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is round 6 here, and those body shots should have been taking effect by now. And, there's no doubt that they hurt. And when he takes some good headshots, I can tell you, I think maybe Duran Williams could have concentrated on the body a bit more.
There's a lot of body there.
Yeah, big guy for a light, heavy, tall guy, but a strong fella and durable, as I said before. He's still in there, well in the fight. And Duran Williams is tiring now, and his defense is becoming a little bit leaky. He's picking up the occasional shot.
Round number 6 in the books. Another very composed round for Duran Williams, but certainly one in which that the competition offered by Tim St. Clair, if not at the same level as Williams, certainly giving a tremendous workout for Duran Williams.
Round 6 coming up, 7 coming up.
All right, watch the side and step. The side, see step. Try to turn him on that side, okay? 7th round. It's on you. It's your call, okay? It's your call.
Duran Williams has only been to the 7th round one time in his 12-fight career, and that was back on July 26 when he knocked out Willie Ball down here in Florida. So he'll be going into some interesting territory. Tim St. Clair has been past 6 rounds 6 times in his pro career, including 10 rounds 3 times. So certainly the endurance factor might come into play a little bit here.
Yes,
round number 7.
Sorry, Hugh, I was going to say, certainly negative thoughts come into your mind when you haven't gone that distance before. You always have the doubts in the back of your mind. You can go out in the gym, you can do 8 rounds in the gym or boxing, but it's not quite the same as the competitive matches. They're in the boxing ring. So there would be doubts in his mind, and maybe that's why he was holding back a bit there. There were times, as I said, when he could have stepped up a gear, but maybe the back of his mind was, what happens if we go into the 7th and 8th round here? So
it's
here we have it.
As you go deeper into a fight, as physical as it is, the mental portion of that is almost as important, knowing that you can go deep into a fight and still have it.
Oh yeah, it's an important part of the makeup. Took a good right hand, Duran Williams, tried to pretend he wasn't hurt. That's a big giveaway sign. And Tim St. Clair still in this fight, tough guy. Duran Williams getting back on his jab here. Nice snappy jab. He could have introduced that earlier on too, but he's doing the right thing. He's a young pro, and he's coming along very nicely. This is a good workout for him.
Yeah, very nice, and it appears that when the jab is working for Duran Williams is when he seems to work off all the punches very well from that jab.
Yeah, well, the jab is the bread and butter punch. Everything follows the jab. You go into a combination with the jab, you come out with the jab. You get back on guard again, you get your balance right.
Midway through round number 7, it's a scheduled 8-rounder. Duran Williams looking for his 13th win as a pro against no defeats, and Tim St. Clair in from Hickory, North Carolina. Colleen Butch looking for professional win number 14 against 7 defeats. And so far, nice right hand by St. Clair.
That's 2 right hands, good right hands he landed in this round. I did see at the end of the last round that Williams Duran was becoming a bit leaky, and being an offensive, basically an offensive fighter like that, there are